Congestion is one of the key issues facing the City of Sydney as it looks to achieve the objectives of the 2030 vision of becoming a green, global and connected city. Sydney ranked 7th in the world for traffic congestion in a recent TomTom survey. Australia reportedly has the highest greenhouse gas emissions per capita of any major country. But congestion isn't just adversely affecting the environment. The city loses more than $5 billion annually in productivity because of it. Projections show that the number of people travelling into the city will increase from 1 million to 1.3 by 2031. By 2036, the population will increase by close to 50%, and the cost of congestion to the city is predicted to grow from 5.1 to 8.8 billion by 2021. A clear message from residents who contributed to Sydney 2030 is that the environment matters. Reliance on private car usage is damaging the environment, it's damaging Sydney's reputation as a leading global city, and it's preventing the creation of a city with an integrated and connected public transport system. There are a number of global cities investing in strategies to combat congestion, which the City of Sydney may be able to learn from. San Francisco set up the SF Park scheme, which aims to reduce congestion caused by drivers circling to find parking. A free smartphone app advises users of parking availability and pricing. The system is based on demand-responsive parking, so that underused areas and garages are priced more favourably than those in high demand. A pilot between 2011 and 2013 involved testing of wireless parking sensors, new meters, and demand-responsive pricing in almost 20,000 metered and garage spaces. The results were overwhelmingly positive. Sydney is one of the world's most expensive cities to park in, but this model reduced parking cost overall in San Francisco by an average of 4%. The model enables pricing of parking based on demand and perceived value. It would also boost the economy by saving productivity hours. The city could look to implement a 12-month trial in a number of areas. They could collaborate with local car park owners on pricing to ensure that owners don't have empty car parks. And they could collaborate with Roads and Maritime Services to jointly fund the investment in smart technology. The police would need to ensure that the legal requirements for in-car smartphone usage were enforced. The public could assume that this is a veiled attempt to increase the price of parking. This was assumed in San Francisco, however the pilot results proved otherwise. In Paris, the City Council has adopted a number of strategies over the past 10 years to reduce the appeal of driving into the city. 95% of free parking spaces in the city have been converted to paid parking spaces. On-street parking supply has been reduced by 9% overall, and 4,000 parking bays have been removed to make space for almost 1,500 available bike share stations. As the overall total of parking spaces and the total of free parking spaces has dropped, so has the percentage of vehicle kilometres travelled by car. The City of Sydney revised its neighbourhood parking policy earlier this year. Instead of encouraging modal shift for short trips, it is trialling free 15-minute parking in village areas, thereby rewarding car use. The economic success of the city's villages can be maintained by the provision of other infrastructure such as public transport connections, cycleways and bike parking. Cyclists also stimulate the local economy and in some cases exceed driver spending, as shown in a study of Lygon Street in Melbourne. The city could start with a 12-month trial and evaluate the impact on congestion. They could work with Transport for New South Wales to evaluate public transport usage rates over the same period and identify missing links in the network. Some areas are better serviced by public transport than others, which makes collaboration with Transport for New South Wales even more important. However, even if some areas are waiting for better public transport connections, the city should still promote behavioural change that discourages residents from driving for short trips. In Seoul, the voluntary Car-Free Day program allows citizens to nominate a work day each week where they will not drive their cars. E-tag technology helps to verify that the cars aren't driven on the nominated days. Incentives such as discounted petrol, a 5% reduction in vehicle tax, and free car washes are offered in return. The results for a voluntary programme have been impressive. This is a particularly attractive solution, as a voluntary programme may face less resistance in the implementation phase and is still likely to generate good participation levels. The city could discuss incentive schemes with state government, for example, public transport discounts, and with local businesses, such as car and/or bike-related discounts. The city could leverage existing technology within roads and maritime services to develop a verification system for drivers and vehicles that are participating in the programme. There is a risk that participation levels could be low, but overall the risk is lower than with other potential solutions due to the voluntary nature of the programme. The city could trial one or all of these solutions over the next 2 years. The timing of trialling, evaluation and implementation could be staggered to account for resource constraints and other 2030 priorities. The city already has a comprehensive 2030 strategy and is looking at a number of progressive measures for an increasing sustainable living. Congestion is a key part of this. What is also key is integrated planning. Examples such as San Francisco, Paris and Seoul show how congestion must be tackled with multiple policy changes, such as a combination of smart technology, increased cycling infrastructure, decreased on-street parking, car-free days, and bike share programs. The City of Sydney has the capability to do the same. The impact of doing nothing is unlikely to amuse anyone.